This week on the Lucky Breaks podcast, we're talking to 𝗂𝗂 and Demetrius about their unique coaching dynamics. 𝗂𝗂 is an iconic figure in the San Diego APA and dedicated to helping players of all skill levels reach their peak performance. Demetrius is a skill level 5 who hit his stride with 𝗂𝗂's mentorship. They share their collaborative and pressure-free coaching style. We hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Lucky Breaks podcast. I am Erin Shulman.
And I'm Sue Lueder. And this week, we're with 𝗂𝗂 Fellows and Demetrios Kontizis. And today we're going to be talking about coaching and mentoring in the game of pool. But before we get into that, we're going to start by getting some origin stories from our guests. And we're going to start with 𝗂𝗂. 𝗂𝗂, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into this game of pool and become such an important figure in the San Diego APA?
Well, I played when I was a kid, preteen, beginning teen. And my mom worked she worked for the county, so they had offices at the rec center. So she'd be like, go play at the rec center. I'll be out in a minute. And I would be the only girl there playing around a bunch of guys and old guys and kids, male kids. And I was the only one who could make balls in the side pocket. So that ended, her offices moved, and I never picked up a pool cue until I met my present husband, Mark. And he would go to the bar. I don't really drink, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I get on the pool table and play. Then to get into APA, someone we worked with had a team, and he's like, oh, I want you guys on my team. And I was like, I am not good enough to be on no league. But we checked out the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It was nice. I was like, oh, let's make it a date night. And that's how I got started way back in 2006.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Very cool.
Believe me.
Okay. How about you, Demetrius?
I was born in Brazil, grew up in Greece, so the constant in my family was pool. My mom shoots pool, my dad shoots pool, but I always said that I would never join the league. I never want someone to tell me where to play, how to play, and when to play. A few of my friends shoot pool quite often. They ended up joining a couple of teams. One of them got really close to 𝗂𝗂, and they needed a player, and I was like, okay, I'll sub in. Which was their way of tricking me to register and all that.
Oh, yeah. Pay your dues.
Yeah, that's how we get you.
Yeah. And then I met 𝗂𝗂, and it was just like a different type of game. It wasn't pressured. It wasn't like, you have to play this way. You have to take this shot. It's all like, you could take that shot if you want to, but did you see this one or did you see that one? So it felt a little bit more welcoming, and it felt like I learned a lot more by playing in one session than I did in 5 years of playing at a bar. Wow. So at that point in time, that's when I was like, okay, I'm really, really invested. And like, she thought I was going to leave the team. And I was like, I can't believe you're even asking me. I know I'm not going anywhere ever. Like that Tuesday team is absolutely amazing.
Nice. What's the name of the team?
You have to understand, I don't come up with these names.
Sure.
𝗂𝗂 went on.
Oh my goodness. That's great. Love it. Awesome. And what skill level are you, Demetrius?
I'm a 5.
You're a 5. And 𝗂𝗂, tell us.
I'm a 7-7.
Awesome.
7 and 8 ball.
Awesome.
7 and 9.
Yes, one of our few female 7s in the APA in San Diego. Well, tell us about the origin of the sort of coaching that you've been giving to Demetrius, and like what your style is and how it all started.
So I guess the culture of it is, I love this game. I absolutely love this game. It's given me so much. It's there for me when I'm mad. It's there for me when I'm happy. You know, being around people, I'm a people person, so I just love it. And it's caused me to meet people from all over the place. And so I know that when I wanted to learn, well, when I started back in 2006, I would be like, okay, let's go practice. Let's go. And my husband would be like, you want to go to the bar? well, yeah, because the pool table's there. Of course I want to go. And then they got to a point where I remember he was like, I think you might love pool more than you love me. And I was like, maybe.
But you don't have to choose, luckily.
And so my desire to just learn all there is to know about it, which is impossible, caused me to want other people to learn. And so I naturally want to share something that I love with everybody. And so that kind of just leads me to, hey, you might be more successful if you don't hit so hard and things like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm curious, Demetrius, when you started playing, like where would you describe where you were at? Like how did it
like
start?
Skill level?
Yeah, and like
okay.
What was your style of play?
So I would beat, I'd say 9 out of 10 people at a regular bar.
Okay.
And then I would beat I would get beaten 9 out of 10 times at league, right? So it took quite a bit of the adjustment. I think what I had a really hard time with was timeouts. Like I feel like when I'm in my groove, I know what I'm gonna do, and it might be the wrong thing. But when I would get timeouts, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Why?" Like I know what I'm doing. So it definitely helped me calm my ego a little bit, where I'm just kind of like, people are trying to help me; they're not trying to change my game. And I think that once I accepted that, positive intent from everyone, not just even Kai. I've had other people call timeouts where I'm just kind of like, wait, this person wants me to win. They're on my team. They're not trying to give me bad advice. So I feel like once 2 sessions, I went from like a 3 to a 5 or something like that. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm stuck there, right? So I need to break that glass ceiling.
I know the feeling. I'm a 5 as well. And I know that ceiling is there. And yeah.
I don't know if I want to break it. I think I'm happy where I'm at right now.
I know. We win half the time, we lose half the time. And when you think about that transition from 3 to 4 and then 4 to 5, is there anything that stands out in your game that really had to change during those transitions?
Oh, yeah. She yells at me all the time. Not yells, but like if I have to hear stay down one more time, you know what I mean? But I feel like the speed, I didn't even know what pocket speed was, right? So I realized that I don't need to hit the ball that hard. I can move the ball around the table pretty easily without putting that much strength into it. I don't need to put English on every single shot. But yeah, like Kai's guidance has definitely helped me. She does these weird things with her hands on the pool table. And honestly, that's how our relationship really started. There was a ball in front of another ball, and she was like, walks up and does this measurement, and she's like, right here, you should hit it right here. And I'm like, that's nice, but I want you to explain to me later what that was. And we spent a good 15 minutes, and she showed me the math kind of behind it. And that's where I started. Like, I think she understood that I wanted to level up my game. She wasn't forcing me to. So then at that point in time, I was like, okay, what else can I learn from Kai? Like, and I love the team. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And it's such a break away from your regular day that I appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you notice about the difference in Demetrius's game since you're coaching?
Sorry.
So I think what I noticed actually with him is, men have ego, right? Especially in this game we love.
Yes.
But he's more, I see like his when he doesn't know what to do. Like he'll take a deep breath and he'll think and he'll be like, we talked about that. And I can see it in his like facial features. We talked about, I know what to do. And then you know what I mean?
And then I wink at her because I'm all like, I know you know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what I'm supposed to do. So then I'm just acknowledging like, hey, I'm going to do that thing you showed me like 3 days ago, which I love.
Yeah. It's like a coach from like a week ago is now coming up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like where the face before was just so confused, but there, he can sit back and see that, and then I don't have to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Which not every player does that, right? I'm like, come on, we just talked about this. You know what to do.
Yeah.
And then they do something crazy, and I'm like, oh my God, seriously? And then they come back, and then I'm like, hey, remember when? And they're like, oh, yeah. I go, this is why I tell you these things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for him, he retains it so well. Not that there's any, okay, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The people who don't retain it, they just need a little more, right? Everybody learns at their own pace, right? I can't force him to learn slower, just like I can't force anybody else to learn faster.
Yeah.
You know, me as the person being coached, because I have had wonderful mentors. I still have a coach. Like, I'm like, I like you because you speak Kai. I want to understand everything there is to understand about whatever it is that they're telling me. So I go over it. I say, so you mean this? And they're like, no, I mean this. Okay, so you mean this? And they're like, yes, I mean that. Okay, cool. Now I understand. Now let's try it. You know, I have my own way of learning, but I can't teach if I don't understand. So that's kind of how I look at it. And so, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with learning slowly.
Well, I think
Guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a
Sometimes,
question?
no, just sometimes it takes me a few rounds or hearing it a different way or described in a different way by a different person for it to finally click.
Yes.
So I really can identify with that. Like, you're like, I just told you that. I forgot. I'm sorry.
One of the hardest things I have to learn, or one of the things I find the hardest to learn is like body position and things like that. I'm curious if you have any ideas on how to teach that to someone else, because it definitely comes up.
Oh, yeah. Well, oddly enough, I've had players better than me come to ask me to help them with mechanics. Because I'm very, if you don't have the mechanics, it's not going to work. Like, right, we can watch SVB, or we can watch this professional player, that professional player, and we understand that there's a thing that they're all doing that we should be doing to be the perfect player, or whatever the case may be. But we can't, not everybody can achieve it by themselves or just watching or whatever, right? So I've had players better than me. Like, hey, I don't feel like I'm standing right. And I'll be like, you're not.
Yeah.
Can you help me? Of course I can help you. Like, I had people like take their time out and help me. Like, why wouldn't I help anybody else? So yeah, mechanics is like my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know when I see you play yourself, you definitely have like this pre-shot routine that is just highly, regimented, right? Like you
Yes.
don't deviate from it.
Yeah, I've had to maybe not perfectly look like the perfect pool player because I have medical stuff going on. And so I have to adjust what that looks like when you look at me, right? So I'm very particular that I always do it this way because I don't want to be in pain, right? So if I do it this way, I won't be in pain. And if I start being in pain, then something's wrong and I better get it fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and your body probably gives you a sign that you're
Oh, yeah.
doing it wrong. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've talked a lot about styles that definitely do work. Are there any coaching styles or timeout styles that come to mind that definitely do not work? And Demetrius, why don't you start?
I've had the pleasure of playing on several teams, and I can tell you what hasn't worked for me is two things. One, a person walks up and doesn't even ask you what you're thinking. So I'm all like, you don't know what I'm gonna do, and what do you, that's one. Two is Kai has the ability to coach at your level, right? And if you want to get pushed a little bit, she will push you a little bit, right? But when I first came on to the league, like I'm a 3. and a 7 is telling me to do, a 3-rail bank. And I'm just like, first off, what is a bank? Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's where I honed in on picking the right captains, because it's like, if it doesn't, I'm not saying that it doesn't work for them. It might work for them, but it didn't work for me. I need someone that, one, respects my pool game and understands being like, hey, what are you thinking? Walk me through what you're going to do. And then being like, did you see this? You could do that. You could do this. Still your call. But I just wanted to make sure that you see that. And I appreciate that Kai actually approaches me that way. Like, it's not, hey, you're going about it totally the wrong way. Or like automatically grabs your cue and you should hit it here. No, it's like, walk me through your thought. Okay, this is what I'm planning on doing. Did you see this? Did you see that? So that's the type of open invite that I appreciate, and it works really well for me. And I think it helps me retain the coaching.
Yeah. I hate it when people grab my cue when they're giving me a coach. That's one of my pet peeves. Kai, what do you think?
Well, I've seen many styles over the years. I had my first coach, Dave Irons, God rest his soul. Remember him? So I did not like him. So I'm playing. My captain says, timeout. He comes from way over there, shooting on the table, not even paying attention as far as I know. So what's going on? Well, I'm like, you should know what's going on, because I'm just a 3 and you're the 7. So then he looks at the table and he's like, hit the ball here, is what he said. Hit the ball here and this is going to happen. I said, okay. So I hit it there and it didn't happen. And I said, it didn't happen. He said, that's because you didn't do what I said. I was livid. And then he goes back and shoots pool, right? And we did not get along at all. Like,
I wonder why.
Right. But after like actually having a conversation, by the time he passed, like, I love that guy. It was just a matter of what I try to do is figure out how does this person communicate, and how can I communicate their way so that they can understand what I'm saying, because we only have a minute.
I know, so short. And
so I have to learn, right? So that comes from talking, it comes from practicing, which is sometimes kind of hard, because I go to practice. Oh, can I play with you? Sure. And I'm practicing and they're like, but I didn't get to shoot. And I'm like, do you want me to shoot like crap? Like, what exactly are we asking for here? Yeah. But yeah, you need to understand and know like how that person communicates, and how can I communicate with them. Like, and it doesn't mean I'm dumbing anything down. It's just how to communicate. But it's up to me, once we figure out how to communicate, now how much can I tell them? I'm not going to give a 3 or a 2 a 3-rail kick shot. Or I might, but I'm not going to tell them it's a 3-rail kick shot. You know what I mean?
You're just going to say, hit it here.
Hit it here really hard.
And something good might happen.
Right. Something like that. But in any relationship, right, communication is key, right? We all hear it. We all hopefully strive for it. But above all else, when you're a higher skill level trying to show a lower skill level what to do, communication is definitely key. Like, I'll forget and say a term like I said to him the first time, pocket speed, and we're in a timeout, and he said, okay. And I said, pocket speed means,
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that he didn't know that term, but the player getting the coaching has to be confident enough to say, I don't understand what you said. And sometimes that's hard.
I'm thinking we have a minute, right? Like, and I'm just like, okay, I can guess what it is, but I'm not really sure. One other thing that I wanted to add that's like really, it really bothered me and it hit me really hard was when people dwell on the shot you just missed.
Oh.
I'm all like, it's gone. You can talk to me after the match is done and we can go through it, but don't tell me. I know I did it wrong. It didn't go in. I can see it, right? So at that point in time, I think that pool is actually with you has helped me stay calm. I don't get triggered as much when people step on my toes or upset me anymore.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Where I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
kind of
really
like,
good.
it is what it is.
I think I want to join Kai's team now.
I know. I
Sorry,
want that
Demetrius.
calm feeling.
I'm gonna fight for your spot.
we need another 5.
You do? Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so I have an interesting question. So I'm a team captain. Erin's a team captain as well, and I have this belief, and I'm kind of using this podcast to advocate for some of my beliefs, but that when you're in like cities and like the higher level tournaments, that when you leave a timeout on the table, you're missing out, right? You want to put it all out there. And I've had some coaches on my roster who are more laid back. And so I'm curious about your style of intervention, meaning a player is playing, they haven't asked for the timeout, but you can see that something is going sideways. Kai, why don't you tell us what you
So are you talking solely about in those big matches, or are you just talking in general?
I guess it comes up more in the big matches because the stakes are so much higher. So that's really what I'm thinking about. But maybe that's part of your point.
Right. It is. Because in those big matches, regardless of skill level, you get one timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're blessed enough to make it past world qualifiers and go to the nationals, worlds, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's even more crucial, all those back timeouts and those back things that you've been doing all year to prepare to get there comes into play.
Yeah.
So in big matches, okay, I'll start here. Regular session. I have learned over the years to be more laid back and not ready to jump in so quick, which I've had to do because timeout 1, timeout 2, oh crap, they need a timeout on the 8-ball.
Yeah.
There's no timeout, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's being laid back. Plus, people learn from mistakes. So you have to give your players a chance to make mistakes. I don't know how adult this is, but if I'm Captain 𝗟𝒂𝒊, every shot,
No, they become dependent.
like seriously, they become dependent and they can't think for themselves. They're not learning because I'm the one inhibiting them from learning because I'm not letting them make mistakes. So I'm very laid back on regular league.
Yeah.
When we get to world qualifiers, I have to, I'm such a mess, to be quite honest.
Really?
I'm a mess because I don't want to make them more nervous, right? So, but then I don't want to not be there. So most of the time, like I'll start keeping score and then I'm like, I can't keep score anymore. Like I gotta go.
Nerves,
Like my nerves are, because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been to Worlds. It's so amazing. Like it's an experience that I believe everybody should see, even if you just go to go. But when you're playing in it, it's a whole nother thing, right? So I want them to do so well that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, you know,
I never would
darn,
have guessed.
you didn't make it. You've never seen me there. No, my teammates know.
No, but do you still give good timeouts at the qualifiers?
I time them out in crucial moments. So I, as the high ranked player and the coach, need to be able to discern very well. Like they might be taking the wrong shot, but is it okay? It's okay. I'm not going to take a timeout. they might have ball in hand with 3 balls and they start with the wrong ball. I'm taking a timeout. I have to be very discerned when I do it.
Makes sense. How about you? Any opinions on this?
I have a fundamental belief that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Because I get in a groove, and I've seen Kai, like, what was it, yesterday? We played yesterday, and I knew that she looked at me and she's like, that might be the wrong ball. And but she was like, I was on a roll yesterday, like, to the point where she was like, if you think you can cut that in there, cut it in there. And I did. And I feel that if a timeout would have came up, I probably would have hiccuped or something. Like, I think a good captain reads the pulse of their player. And if I'm on fire, just let me be on fire. You know what I mean? And if I miss, I'll learn from it. Right? But yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's my belief.
Yeah, there's so much rhythm in the game. Yeah. Cool.
But I've never coached, so
not yet.
You'll be learning soon.
Oh God.
as a 5, I think it's great for the 5s to definitely start getting into the coaching.
Yeah, I'm actually getting into, like, reading all the rules and learning all the granular details. I want to know the rule book inside and out before I become a coach. Just personal belief.
Yeah. Well, soon you'll be able to be a ref.
Okay. I'm just going to say, okay.
Well, you could start calling him in to help you with a timeout.
Yeah.
Do you get coaching in timeouts?
Actually, you know what she does?
Yeah.
We'll be sitting next to each other, and somebody else will be playing on our team. And she's like, what would you do?
Perfect.
And I love it because I'm like, this is what I would do here, there, there. And then she's like, good, but did you see this and that? And I feel like that helps me have invisible timeouts, right? Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I am a complete feel rhythm. Like, I feel everything when I play.
She dances.
And so
I've seen her do that. Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to remember to call a timeout on myself to teach. I do call timeouts on myself if I'm in between 2 shots. Should I do this or should I do that? I'll call a timeout and I'll point out the person I want to come, and they'll walk over and I go, which one? Because I just can't decide. And most of the time they'll want to talk it out with me, and I'm not that type of person. Like, it's one or the other. You don't have to tell me why. Just pick one.
I thought it was a trick.
What do you mean?
It was a trick. I thought you knew what you were gonna do, and you would be like, which one? And I'm all like, well, I would go this way. And then you're like, okay. And then I was like, oh, you took that shot, so I was right. That was the right shot.
Oh, like it's a test.
Yeah, like it's a test. That's what I thought it was.
No, not at all. You're telling me where to go.
Oh my God! That was the first time. Okay, yeah.
So I'll. That's when I think to call a timeout. But I've had people who are like, "Oh, you should call timeouts on yourself and get input," and I'm like, for me, this is gonna be hard to hear. To me, that's a waste of time. Because if I'm in the game and I'm the one playing, I don't want to waste time. I want to get to us playing. Those people in our wonderful area who take 15 practice shots, the ball is not going to move until you hit it. Like,
we could probably have a whole episode about how long matches take.
Right. But, like, those things are unnecessary things that take time in my mind when I'm playing. So, like, I don't think of it because I'm like, if I need it, I'll call it. If I don't need it, why am I going to waste time? Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. It's not the most pleasant, teachable thing to say, but
that's okay.
It's me. I'm playing between being a player and being a coach. Right. So there's much more to think about when you're playing between both instead of just being a player.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I was just going to mention real quick, because you're like, you don't call timeouts on yourself as a teachable lesson, but there are some times where I'm like, I want to know what they're doing, what's going on in your mind, like or when you have a pause in your game
yes.
and you're sitting there thinking about it. I did have a coach call me up once, like skill level 7-9, and they're like, what ball should I hit? But they were just asking me to confirm their gut feeling.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Though.
And I'm like, I hope I picked the right ball. I'm like, I really was
test.
like,
Yeah.
is this a test? Like, what's going on here? I actually did give some coaching to a skill level 2 or 3 the other day.
Nice.
He was like, what's lag speed? When you were talking about pocket speed. So it's like, they are
Yes.
brand new. They don't know the terms of this. So even us at
Yes.
lower skill levels we can teach some of these younger in skill level players.
Sometimes it's easier to coach when you're closer in skill
Yeah.
level to them.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
or
it
to hear
definitely
from
was.
someone.
Yeah.
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 That I, in my own experience, I've had coaches that were higher than me at various skill levels of mine that I was like, huh? Right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not every 7-9 is a good coach
It's true.
Yeah, that is true.
because they forget or may never have been even, right?
Yeah.
They may never have been a 3
Mm-hmm.
or it was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so they forget how to coach a 3 because they're like, oh yeah, I jack up like, oh my God, how many times have I seen a high ranked player tell somebody to jack up? And I'm like,
yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
you telling them to jack up?
Yeah.
Right? But they're trying to get them to do something that they can do
Mm-hmm.
without realizing that
Yeah. Not everybody can do that.
not gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that I've had that experience too, but I just try to remember. I try to remember. And though it was 20 years ago, what it was like being a 3. Make it, simplify it. That's not to say some of those 3s can do some more advanced things, but they're scared to. And then that's where I come in also as somebody who watches them and
Yeah.
knows how they play to be like, okay, you can do this.
Yeah. I've seen you do this shot. You can do it.
Yeah.
Just that little boost.
Yeah,
of
I need that
confidence.
little
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. So.
Kai, tell us a little bit about this new venture you have going on for Purple Queen Kai. Tell us all about that.
So everybody who knows me knows I love purple. I'm obsessed and I'm okay with it.
You must lag with the 4-ball.
I must
It's
lag
an
with the
imperative.
4-ball. I had purple braids at one time, just haven't gotten back to it, but they'll be there soon. But I love purple. I believe I'm a queen, and my name is Kai.
Yes.
Hence, Purple Queen Kai. I have multiple socials with, if you ever want to find me, Purple Queen Kai across all my socials. I'm also linked on Linktree under Purple Queen Kai, and you can see all my socials. It has a link to everyone. But it's a business of sorts that I've started locally first, San Diego. I have Fiverr, which is a website where you can sell your wares, so to speak. Also Purple Queen Kai. And my YouTube where I actually record my matches.
Oh, wow.
And have started commentating on those matches. Also,
after the fact.
after the fact,
Oh, I like that.
that my PR person or my tech guy,
Uh-huh.
who is my son,
Oh, nice.
puts on YouTube for me.
Oh, cool.
So you can even hear me talking about it
Nice.
or what I was thinking or maybe what I should have done instead or just different things. All of this as a way to teach people from an amateur standpoint. I am no professional of how to play pool, how to shoot pool, you know, how to maneuver your way through a rack or whatever. So yeah, check it out.
Oh, I will.
Purple Queen Kai.
Any kind of coaching services you're planning to offer?
Yes. So that's on Fiverr.
Okay.
You can go to my Fiverr. You can connect with me, and I have price ranges on there, and it describes what you get for that price. But I'm always available to like talk to, and I don't want to be inaccessible to anybody. So even if you have monetary challenges,
Constraints.
yes, reach out to me anyway.
Yeah.
We talk about it.
Yeah. Love it. That's great. I love that. And I think there's a lot of people who want to learn and sometimes find it intimidating to ask for help. And so I think it's great that you're offering that.
Yeah, women especially.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Women especially. I laugh all the time when a guy comes in the bar with his girl or a date and let me show you how to shoot. And then I look at him and he doesn't even know how to shoot.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
The mansplaining is
Right, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But we can get past that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. It's really awesome to hear about, and I'm definitely going to check it out.
Well, we have a little gimmick on our show where you can ask the Magic 8-Ball a question, usually pool related, since this is what we were talking about, and a yes or no question. And the 8-Ball is right there next to you, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
If you would like to. Do you?
You have a
No,
question?
you go first. You're the
Shake-
coach.
Related.
Shake it up
Pool
real
related,
good, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Do you have a tournament coming up?
Do you want me to help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our team. Next set. Yeah. Don't be scared.
Will the Tuesday team make it to Worlds?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm looking. Oh my God, is that?
Don't count on it.
Prove the 8-Ball wrong.
Exactly.
Is my Thursday team going to do well at Worlds?
Oh, are you playing this
You
weekend?
No, we're
you
going to
made
Vegas.
it. They
Last
won
weekend.
cities.
What does that say? Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
Hey.
I
You're going
love
to
this
win
8-Ball.
Worlds?
Was that?
You're going to win Worlds?
I said, are we going to do well?
well.
Okay.
He's not trying to do all that.
You're like, but if you do win, the 8-Ball is amazing.
We deserve a shout out. Just shout out the Lucky
Got
Breaks
you.
podcast.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kai and Demetrius. This was a really fun conversation about
Yes.
coaching and mentoring, and I love this dynamic between you guys. It's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
That wraps up another episode. A big thank you to our guest for joining us today and sharing their story. If you want to connect with our guest, their contact info can be found in the show notes for this episode. Also, please show your support by liking and subscribing.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Lucky Breaks podcast. You can find more episodes at youtube.com/@luckybreaks-podcast or by searching for Lucky Breaks on your favorite podcast player. This episode was produced by Lueder and Erin Shulman. Thank you for your support. Sign up to be a guest on a future episode from our YouTube channel page.